Imagine asking someone one simple question and realizing you suddenly understand them better than some of their closest friends. It sounds impossible, but psychologists have spent decades discovering that certain questions reveal far more than people ever intend. The strange part is, none of these questions look important. They're ordinary. That's exactly why they work. People prepare answers for interviews. Nobody prepares for these. And by the end, I'll show you the one that bothers people the most because it exposes something they usually try to hide. If you could go back in time, what would you change? Imagine sitting across from two friends. You ask both the exact same question. One answers immediately. I should have apologized. The other smiles. Honestly, nothing. Same question, two completely different minds. People who name a specific mistake and own it are often associated with higher self-awareness. Those who blame external circumstances may find it harder to recognize their own role in outcomes. And those who say nothing, everything happens for a reason. In some cases, that reflects real maturity. But research suggests it can also be a way of avoiding old regret. Reminder, there's no right answer. What matters is the pattern behind it. Here's what's fascinating. Most people answer in less than 3 seconds. The speed of the answer can be just as revealing as the answer itself. Before we continue, answer it yourself. What would you change? Here's the twist researchers didn't expect. The people most confident in their answer are often the least accurate about their own behavior. Confidence and self-knowledge aren't the same thing. The next answer is the one therapists notice first. What do you do when you're alone with nothing to do? This question reveals how someone actually handles silence. Imagine this: an empty room, no phone, no music, no book, no clock, just you. 5 minutes pass. Then a red button appears. If you press it, you receive a painful electric shock. Would you? Most people say they would never press it. Some did. On purpose. This actually happened. In a landmark study from the University of Virginia published in the journal Science in 2014, some participants chose to shock themselves rather than sit alone with their own thoughts for several minutes. The finding sparked enormous debate, and researchers are still discussing exactly what it means today. Some of those same participants had said beforehand they'd pay money to avoid that shock. Yet, left alone with nothing but their thoughts, many pressed the button anyway. Think about that for a second. People preferred pain over silence, and maybe that's worth thinking about. People who reach for immediate stimulation, a phone, the TV, an app on autopilot, tend to show lower tolerance for discomfort. Those who use that time to reflect, create, or simply sit with nothing without anxiety are often associated with greater comfort in their own company. This doesn't mean using your phone is wrong, but a constant pattern of escaping silence can say a lot about how someone handles their emotions when no one's watching. And here's something most people never notice about themselves until they hear their own answer out loud. Imagine every parent in the world had to answer just one question. Not about grades, not about money, not about success, just this: who would you want your child to become? Remember the first question, the one about going back in time. There's a reason we started there. Both questions force the same thing. They make you say your values out loud, whether you meant to or not. People who choose someone for their achievements often value ambition, security, or success. People who choose someone for their character or the way they treat others tend to prioritize integrity and genuine connection. But sometimes the answer surprises even the person giving it. Someone chooses their grandmother, not because she was famous, not because she was rich. Every morning, the smell of coffee filled the kitchen. She never rushed anyone, never checked the clock. And somehow, everyone who sat at her table felt safe. Sometimes the people we admire most aren't the ones who changed the world. They're the ones who changed ours. There's one criticism that can ruin someone's entire day, even when it comes from someone they don't even know. Which criticism about you hurts the most? A criticism that stings deeply often touches something the person already suspects is true about themselves. Criticism that just slides off usually has no real foothold in someone's self-image. Psychologists who study self-concept suggest that the intensity of the emotional reaction is often more revealing than the criticism itself. Remember the empty room and the button? That was never really about electric shocks. It was about how far we'll go to avoid sitting with our own minds. Here's the strange part. You didn't learn who other people are. You learned something about yourself without expecting to. At the start of this video, I said most people think you need months to know someone's personality. You don't. You just watched it happen in 6 minutes, not with a stranger, but with yourself. I'm genuinely curious. Question 1, question 2, question 3, or question 4, just type the number and tell me why. I'll be reading every comment. If this made you see yourself a little differently, you'll probably enjoy what's coming next. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.